Today we debate one of the biggest and most important votes because it funds a post-school education and training sector, which is important because whatever our basic education system does, it does not prepare children for the world of work. South Africa has a sophisticated economy which needs skilled labor, skilled artisans in industry and construction, but also in beauty, innovative engineers, expert scientists in human, natural and commercial disciplines, lawyers specializing in different fields, management experts, qualified people in every trade and profession conceivable. But people are not only qualified, they are also educated. Qualification content is definable and presented in textbooks and study material. Education, on the other hand, is evasive. It can be outlined and formulated in outcomes envisaged, but much of it happens in the sideshows, discussions in classes, residences, student associations, holiday jobs, all form part of the education. Also the way in which studies are funded. And funding is what the budget is about. Since 2018, this department has been implementing a policy of free education for the poor and working class. Funding for NSFAS had to double from around 10 billion in 2017-18 to nearly 20 billion the following year, to around 40 billion in this budget. The department as such, on the other hand, could not be allocated the 123 billion envisaged in last year's budget, nor even the 116.8 billion budgeted for last year, but only some 115.6 billion rand. Take note that NSFAS received more, while the department as a whole received less. The grants of universities had to be cut accordingly, robbing Peter to pay Paul. In the national budget, but also within higher education and training, productive spending is cut in order to maintain social spending. That is cautiously descending the fiscal cliff rather than tumbling down, which is commendable because it could possibly be reversed. What hinders the department is a set of flawed ideological notions. One is that higher education and training should be free, not financed by loans or bursaries, but by grants. This is a fatal notion, because there's never enough to be handed out for free. The N+2 rule allows students to spend 5 years on a 3-year degree, without incentive to use only 3 years or penalty for using 5. However, if a student is tax registered when awarded a NSFAS loan, the money can be recovered when the qualified person starts working. It can even solve the problem of the missing middle, who currently earn too much for NSFAS and too little to pay themselves. Another flawed notion is to solve problems by centralization of management. Therefore, we have 26 universities with 59 campuses and 50 TVET colleges with some 240 campuses. This creates a divide between learning institutions and their communities. This notion does not translate into good educational practice either. The opposing notion of a close tie between an educational institution and the community it serves is also prevalent. In the Portfolio Committee, issues pertaining the Sefako Makgato University of Health Sciences have been discussed a number of days. Several stakeholders proudly declared what a privilege it is for them to be involved in the education and betterment of, and I quote, the black child coming from the communities where we come from, close quote. I welcome this notion. Dit is die idee, nie meer, die ideaal, wat tot instellings soos akademia, Soltech en Karoo opleiding lei. Nadat belasting betaal is, waarmee eens Afrikaanse universiteite verengels word, en waarmee NSFAS toelaag gefinansier word, dra mense uit hierdie missing middel by om eerste klas hoër onderwysinstellings te skep. En dan betaal hulle self hulle kinders se klasgelde. Daardie studente betoog nie en brand nie, want vir hulle is dit 'n voorreg om in hulle eie taal opgevoed en opgelei te word. Hulle respekteer hulle akademiese seniors. So boue mense hele tegniese college met die geld wat Gauteng gebruik het om skole wat leeg gestaan het skoon te maak. On the positive side, in this department, very capable officials work extremely hard to make the state-sponsored system work. The Portfolio Committee works hard to hold institutions to account, and the Minister is obviously serious about his work. But the ideological foundation is flawed. Die 4+ stem dus teen die begroting. Baie dankie.